So firstly, and most importantly, thank you, Calvin, for watching my videos again. And I said I'd introduce you to my two-headed dragon. So, bye! These are my friends. Their names are Peter and Piper. I love them so much. A couple years ago, I used to carry them around with me everywhere I went. I was doing rehearsals at a show, a play I was in, and I would carry them with me everywhere. And when they came to like every show, I really, really love my stuffed animals so much. They're so beautiful. Mwah, mwah. I am the one thing a man can't control. I feel myself getting scared and just feeling nervous about the attachments I'm making and the friendships that I'm making, and having them getting closer and stronger. Because there's a lot of people who really are admiring and proud of me and talking to people more often, and I feel like I am finding myself getting excited about receiving messages, and because the messages make me feel good. And I guess I'm afraid that because messages make me feel good, that eventually they're gonna make me feel terrible, and something negative is gonna happen, and I'm just afraid of making attachments. Here's what I do differently. Love like I'm not scared. Give when it's not fair. Take time for a brother. Fight for the weak ones. Speak out for freedom. Find faith in the battle. Stand strong and above it all. Fix my eyes on you. The road less traveled is hard to walk. It takes a soldier who knows his orders to walk the walk I'm supposed to walk. Love like I'm not scared. Give when it's not fair. Live life for another. Take time for a brother. Fight for the weak ones. Speak out for freedom. Find faith in the battle. stand tall and above it all. Fix my eyes on you, oh oh, on you, oh oh, on you. So, what I wrote on my arms today, what did I listen to? I listened to a bunch of Taoism, and then I listened to some music. Mainly my motivational playlist, which is what we're listening to right now. And I'm just getting overwhelmed with the amount of like love and affection that I've been receiving, and and so it's like, it feels really good, but then it makes me nervous, and I'm to the point where it's like I gotta set down my phone and just go be alone because I'm getting anxiety. And I've really been working on being bored. Boredom is good. And so, for example, yesterday, I've been working harder to be a good employee, and I have really good work ethic. And so I've noticed that I work at a garden, and I noticed that when I am watering stuff for too long, eventually I usually would just pull out my phone and look at my phone and like scroll through something or comment on things or post things or something. But now I'm really trying not to, or I just listen to a podcast or something to be more attentive and better, do my best, because my best, I can do my best, and I want to do my best, because I like my job, and I want to keep my job. And so I've found that like yesterday I really got really bored, and that's like a good state of being for me, because to be in such a peaceful state where I'm just standing there watering something, and to be like, wow, I'm really bored, that means that there's like not too much going on in my brain, like it's just more calm. And so I was working on that again today, just sitting watering the pond plant tubs and just watching them fill up and looking around me and looking at the dragonflies and the birds and the fish in the tank and the ripples in the water and the flowers, and just appreciating what's around more, rather than just pulling out my phone and alleviating my boredom by looking at my phone. And I'm glad that my boss brought up what he did yesterday about like hey, no phones, you need to just keep the phones away, blah 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 blah. And so that was a good thing for me to hear, so that I can work on being more present and not going to my phone for fulfillment. So boredom is good. And there was something interesting in one of the podcasts I listened to about, well, when I was bored, and I was like, there's got to be a value in boredom. So I looked up a podcast on boredom, and then of course I wasn't bored while I was listening to the podcast, so it was kind of counterintuitive, but it worked. Well, I mean, I wanted to learn about boredom, so the thing was that they did a little study, some scientist, I guess, or something, about, they presented bored people with a plastic cup and asked them how many ways they could use the plastic cup or what they could invent, and they presented not bored people with a plastic cup and asked them the same thing, and the people who were bored were able to come up with more hope you can hear me okay. I know my music's a little loud. They were able to come up with more ideas and creatively use their inventive imagination for using this cup in more ways than the not bored people were. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So when you're bored, your mind is more open and able to be inventive and think more creatively rather than when your mind's full. So I like that. So what else I have written on there is humble my ego, trust the universe. I am the one thing in life I can control. I am the inevitable blah 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 blah. I will put that on. I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it. I am the one thing in life I can control. And then emotions equal emotions. So anxiety equals anxiety, fear equals fear, and that's it. They're not actually harmful to me. So to accept them. Don't give a shiz. So that was some of my stoicism podcast. Stoicism is a little negative, but I guess that I was thinking about it today that my ex-husband Josh gave me this book a couple of years ago. Well, I don't know, maybe last year. I think it was last year when I was really sick. He gave me this book, and now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to. I haven't really delved into it that much because it's like pretty negative, but stoicism is pretty negative too. So I wonder if this book is kind of like repelled by stoicism or inspired by. So I'm gonna have to delve into it some more and see